As a plant lover, I find not just the way plants look, but the history of them, the stories of them, and plants in the wild really fascinating. So for me, wildflowers are actually a whole nother part of not just gardening, but exploring the countryside and falling in love with the natural world. I'm a huge, huge fan of all different kinds of wildflowers. And here are 5 of my favourites. Cow parsley has to be one of my favourite wildflowers. For me, because it flowers in about May time, it always reminds me of that first time in spring when you feel properly warm. The sun begins to heat your skin and you can smell the smells and the air is thicker with a kind of encroaching summery feeling. They flower all over the place. They grow on roadsides, they grow in woodlands. Often you walk through footpaths and the frothy white flowers are almost up at your head height, so you can really feel that you're a part of nature. They are edible, they have edible leaves, but they look so similar to poison hemlock that I never eat them. I just enjoy being in amongst them and smelling them and watching them as they move in the wind and they catch the light. They're just such a beautiful wildflower. Another plant that I really love and really respect is one called Selfheal Prunus vulgaris. It's a member of the mint family. It has very lovely blue flowers, and it's one of those plants that you can miss. It can grow in the lawn, and if you mow it regularly, it stays really small and you'll just see the little blue flowers. But as you let it get bigger, it forms a lovely little clump, and then the flowers form on the ends of the leaves. Now, the history of Selfheal is, as the name would imply, as a medicinal. So it's been used in the past for things like ulcers and abscesses and infections, for healing wounds, but it's also edible. So if you're into foraging, you can eat the leaves. It's very beautiful, it's very, very lovely, and I just love the story that it has. Mugwort is a really interesting wildflower. It's closely related to the same plant that used to give absinthe its crucial hallucinogenic qualities, and mugwort, as a consequence, has similar-ish qualities. It's supposed to make you dream. You can either hang it above your bed and you get very vivid dreams, or you can have a little cup of mugwort tea before you go to sleep. It grows in wastelands, it grows on the roadsides, you'll see it all over the place. White underside of the leaves, green on the top, and then tiny little spikes of white flowers, but the whole plant itself gets to about 5 feet tall. It's a really common plant, you see it all over the place. Once you notice it, you'll notice it everywhere that you go. And it's got this lovely, slightly magical nighttime quality. Foxgloves really sum up that whole idea of walking in the countryside. In the middle of summer, they flower around June and they throw up huge spikes of naturally pinky purpley flowers. The flowers themselves, I think, are what make foxgloves just so interesting. They're trumpet-like tubular flowers with a speckled throat, and more often than not, when you see a foxglove flower and you look into it, you'll see a bumblebee that's inside the flower. They're so loved by pollinators that I absolutely have to include them in my top 5. They're just really, really beneficial. They also have been used in pharmaceutical medicine for heart conditions. They're poisonous, so you should never ever try and make your own medicine from them, but just that knowledge that not only are they benefiting the wildlife, but they have this really important commercial value for human beings as well, just gives them a really interesting story for me. Dandelions are a much maligned wildflower. They often appear on the front of bottles of plant poisons, as in, that you spray on your garden, herbicides. For some reason, people really dislike them, but they are really, really useful. You can eat them. You can eat the leaves. They're very much like a chicory. They're full of bitters, which we have less and less of in our diets now, so we need them. Bitters are very detoxifying, so they help to cleanse the liver. They help in the spring, which is when they are at their most edible. Just after the big glut of Christmas and the New Year and eating all those bad things, you eat your bitters, you detoxify your body, and it's really good for your health. The roots are also edible, and you can make a kind of coffee-like drink from them. But the really interesting thing about those roots, which is why gardeners hate them, because they're very hard to dig up with a huge taproot, But that root itself goes deep into the soil and brings nutrients up to the surface. So dandelions are a really important colonising plant for wasteland or contaminated land, concrete, and the root will go down, break through and start to heal the soil itself and make it a more pleasant environment for other wildflowers to germinate and grow happily around them. If you liked this video, then don't forget to click like and subscribe so that you can get lots more tips from me and other familiar faces on the Gardener's World magazine YouTube channel.